Hello everyone, I'm Rahul and I welcome you to this sixth session of Gautam Buddha series. In the previous session, we talked about the process of Vipassana. Now in this session, we will go further and explore the outcome of that process, which is insight. Remember, I told you in one of the earlier sessions that the core difference between Buddha and Siddhartha stems from their understanding of reality. Siddhartha had a delusional view of the reality, and Buddha had a crystal clear view of the reality. And insight appears from having a crystal clear view of the reality. Insight appears by seeing the reality as it is. So, when you will closely observe your physical sensations with a clear mind, you will realize that three truths are revealed within you. And what are these three truths? First is anicca, which means impermanence. Second is anatta, which means no self. And third is dukha, suffering. Let's try to explore them step by step, beginning with anicca, impermanence. So as you will closely observe your physical sensations, you will start to realize something really profound. Every sensation that you feel in your body is constantly changing. For example, your heart rate is constantly changing, your breathing pattern is constantly changing, and as you scan your whole body for these physical sensations, you will notice that certain sensations kind of appear and disappear. Sometimes you will notice that your leg has fallen asleep, and after some time it will become okay. Sometimes you will notice that your hands and feet are tingling, and after some time it will become okay. And at times you will also notice that there is a tension in your muscle or your muscles are twitching, and again after some time it will become okay. So every physical sensation that you feel in your body is constantly changing. And remember, these are not any extraordinary sensations. These are ordinary sensations, these subtle biochemical reactions that are always happening in our body. But usually we don't notice them. And as your practice will deepen, you will realize that just like the physical process, our mental process also keeps changing from moment to moment. One moment you will notice that you have a thought that is making you happy. Another moment you will have a thought that will make you sad. One moment you will have thoughts which will make you feel confident. Another moment you will have thoughts which will make you feel full of doubt. One moment you are really anxious about the future. Another moment you are really relaxed in the moment. So every sensation that we feel within us is constantly changing. It is transient in nature. It comes and goes away like a passing cloud. So this is the reality of the mind and matter. Every subatomic particle that makes up our body and mind appears and disappears in a constant cycle of creation and destruction. Every thought, every feeling, every emotion that we experience appears and disappears in the same way. Haven't you noticed that how you end up despising the same person whom you love the most? It happens to everyone at times. And why does it happen? It happens because of the truth of impermanence. You can't love someone permanently and you can't hate someone permanently because you are always changing, the other person is always changing, and both of you are experiencing thoughts, emotions, and feelings which are always changing, constantly moving. And the circumstances and situations in your life are always changing. So nothing is static in our life, nothing is permanent here. Life is like a flux. So earlier you might have known this fact intellectually, but the practice of Vipassana makes it an experiential understanding. Experiencing it firsthand within the framework of your body and mind is a totally different story. It's both liberating as well as humbling to come across, to come face to face with your own impermanent nature. So, this is the first truth that we experience in the practice of Vipassana, the truth of impermanence, anicca. Now, as you will sit in your practice and as your practice will deepen, another truth will be revealed, the second truth, which is anatta, no self. The second truth is that there is no permanent self as I, me, or the ego within us. What we call I is just a combination of processes that are always changing. When you closely observe your physical sensations, you realize this thing, that there is no permanent center within you, which is unchanging. Now, this does not mean that we don't exist. Of course, we exist. We have a physical reality and we also have a psychological reality, but it is not as it appears. We are only acquainted with our apparent reality. We are not at all acquainted with our deeper reality. Now, what exactly does this mean? We often relate self with two different qualities: a sense of continuity and a sense of control. Like, this is me, and this me controls my whole life, my actions, my feelings, my emotions, my thoughts, everything. But when you closely observe your physical sensations, you realize that there is no permanent center within you which kind of controls or creates this physical or mental phenomena. There is no center within us which is the source of this physical and mental phenomena. This physical and mental phenomena is happening on its own accord. And I is just the shadow of this physical and mental phenomena which happens on its own accord. Right? Now, J. Krishnamurti has described this phenomena very beautifully. He has said that thinker is the thought, which means that there is only thinking. And thinker is just an illusion which is created by the process of thinking. So there are just processes. Processes are real, things are unreal. Now, sometimes it may seem like that we have a continuity, as if there is an identity within us which is kind of creating and controlling our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. But that is just an apparent reality. It's not our ultimate reality. It's like giving river a name. By labeling a river, we cannot change it from process to a thing. You might give river a name, but it does not change the fact that river is just a flow of water, always moving, never pausing on its course. In the same way, our physical and mental phenomena is also like a river-like flow. There is no center within us which can be called as a thing that is controlling the process. No, we are just processes. Seeing this truth, the last truth is revealed, which is the truth of DUKHA, suffering. Suffering arises from the illusion of I, clinging to the impermanent nature of reality. Any effort to hold on to something, saying this is me, this is mine, is bound to make one unhappy. Why? Because the thing that one clings to sooner or later passes away. Or the I, the self that clings to the thing, that I passes away. So this is the nature of reality. This is the undeniable truth of life. Attachment to anything which is impermanent is bound to create suffering in one's life. Remember, earlier we came to this conclusion that the tendency to react with liking and disliking a physical sensation creates suffering in our life. Craving a pleasant sensation is suffering. Having an aversion towards unpleasant sensation is suffering. But what is it in us that craves? What is it in us that has an aversion towards the unpleasant sensation? It's the I, the self, the ego. So any effort to live with this sense of I is bound to create suffering in one's life. So seeing these three realities within the framework of our body and mind liberates us from suffering. For example, when you see a snake, you don't go near it. Why? Because you sense a physical danger and you run away from the snake. And there is no effort in running away from that snake. It happens spontaneously. In the same way, see the psychological danger of living with the sense of I. The I that is always becoming attached with the impermanent nature of reality. See it happening in your life. The I that is always craving the pleasant experiences. See it happening in your life. The I that is always having an aversion towards the unpleasant experiences. See how this ego, the I, the self is making you suffer. It is making you happy, it is making you sad, it is making you anxious, it is making you fearful. See the whole movement of this I, and then you will be liberated. There will be an extinction of craving, there will be an extinction of aversion, and there will be an extinction of ignorance. And in that moment, you will be liberated from this unquenchable thirst. Your thirst will be quenched, and you will be at peace with yourself, and you will be fully present in the moment, and you will be deeply relaxed in the moment, and that state is called nirvana. Now, finally, I would like to say that don't go on practicing this Vipassana like a ritual. Don't make it a ritualistic thing. I'm saying this thing because I have seen a lot of people who practice Vipassana like a habit. Just like they brush their teeth every day, they also practice their Vipassana every day. And it is stupid, it is dumb. You have to understand that the core motive of Vipassana is to give you an insight into the nature of reality. so that you see the cause of suffering and you become free from that cause, right? So once you get the message, it does not make any sense to go on practicing this technique. It is dumb. So once you get the message, you have to make sure that you digest the message. Make sure that this message spreads to every aspect of your life. So you have to live your life with great watchfulness. You have to see how this craving is taking place in your life, how the aversion is taking place in your life, how the ego is playing games in your life. The more you will observe the whole movement of ego, the self, the more and more liberated you will become. So, understanding the message of Vipassana is far more important than practicing it like a ritual. So, with this insight, I will end the 6-part series on Buddha, and I hope that you have got enough insight that will help you in transforming your life. And at some point, if I will feel like that I need to add something to this content, the Decoding Buddha series, I will do that. I will make a video and I will add it in the playlist. So finally, thank you very much for going through this whole series, for being with me with such great patience. I'm assuming very few people will watch the whole video. So if you are one of them, then I congratulate you. And yeah, that's it. Thank you very much.